I thought I had it figured out, believed in us, we were meant to be, no doubt. A teenage love, everybody else could see the way we were, living in a fantasy. When I kiss her, I don't know where we going, I don't know at all. I don't know how we growing. I'll be moving on. I'll be moving on. Gotta let it go. Living on my own, making me
I've been watching you. Just come to me.
You said the same thing I told ya. My eyes are clear, there's no secret. I wanna know, was it serious? I need it clear, my best friend. Isn't easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you, it's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing, my love. Trying to hold my feeling, I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way, I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something. I keep my time in a pocket. I wanna find a new keeper. I like the way it's mysterious. I think I found my own way. Isn't easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you, it's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing, my love. Trying to hold my feeling, I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way, I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. something. I think we're made of something. Hold my feeling, I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way, I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something.
You know that you control me. Guilty self-affliction. Prey on me when I'm lonely. But now I'm your willing victim. My friends already told me that I don't wanna listen, 'cause I love the way you hold me. And I don't need a reason, 'cause I don't wanna be.
to be numb, you know the rules then. No, it's not right.